kid, I'm standing here, and I'll never know why.
I'll never know why you love me.
Thank you, Jesus.
It's a mystery to me now. I'm glad to see Jesus.
When I lost all my hope,
When all hope was gone, you love me.
and yet you gave me that melody, that sweet
You
song.
gave me a song that you love me.
Now we can all get up, stand up on our feet, and move
Now
on.
I can go on 'cause you love me.
Thank you. Thank you, Jesus.
It's a mystery to me now. I'm glad to see Jesus.
What does it really mean to love? What does it mean?
What it really means.
What does it mean to be kind?
What it really
Can you tell me what it really means to love?
to love.
Love is patience. Love is kind. Love is sweet. Love is joy. To love God is to keep His own commandments. Because as much as God loves us, we should love Him also. Love is not strife, and love worketh no ill to His neighbor.
That's love.
He loved God. He loved. Love God. For God is love.
That's
Love is not hatred towards one another. Love is kindness. Love is peace. How can you hate your mother and love God? It's on His faithfulness of it you cannot believe. Love is patience. Love is kind. Love is sweet. Let us open our arms and embrace and love one another. Love is patience, sweet joy, love. Sing with me. Patience, patience. Let us never open up our hearts to strife and hatred. Instead, let us smile with love. Love is not hatred, working no ill to your neighbor. Love your mother, your father, your friend, your neighbor. If you cannot love them, how can you love God? Patience, love, kindness. That is what love is. Sweetness, joy. What does it mean?
Testing. Testing. Praise the Lord, everyone. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord again, everybody. Come on. Hey. Another Sabbath on this holy day. Yes. Come on. Come on, choir. Sing unto the Lord. Bless His holy name. Sing unto the Lord. Bless His holy name. Oh yeah, for the Lord our God is great. And He is greatly to be praised. He is worthy of glory. Worthy. He is worthy of honor. Worthy of honor. He is worthy of the highest praise. Sing unto the Lord. Bless His holy name. Sing unto the Lord. Yes. Bless His holy name. Oh yeah, for the Lord our God is great and He is greatly to holy name. If he woke you up, sing unto the Lord. Come on. Bless his holy name. Oh yeah, for the Lord our God is great and he is greatly to be praised. He is worthy of glory. He is worthy of glory. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of glory. He is worthy of honor. Glory. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of all my praise. Yeah, yeah. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of glory. Oh, yeah. He is worthy of honor. Lord, worthy of honor. Worthy of all my praise. Yeah, yeah. He is worthy of honor. One more time, let us sing. Yeah, yeah. He is worthy of honor. Praise his name. He is worthy of honor. Come on, y'all. Clap your hands. Hey, hey, clap your hands. He is worthy, worthy, worthy. Praise his name. Yeah, yeah. Worthy. He is worthy. Yes, he is. He is worthy. Yeah, yeah. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of glory. Oh, yeah. He is worthy of honor. He is all my praise. He is worthy of glory. Yeah, yeah. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of glory. He is worthy of all my praise. Oh, yeah. He is worthy of glory. He is worthy of glory. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of honor. He is worthy of glory. Hallelujah. He is worthy of honor. Yeah, yeah. He is worthy of the highest praise.
Praise the Lord. Choir seem like they're gonna need a little more room in a minute. They dancing all over the place. Praise the Lord for a couple of fine selections from them. Praise the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everybody that's here in the name of Jesus. Peace to everybody tuning on the internet, if it's Facebook, also the phone line, as we get into another Sabbath lesson. And we started last night, as always, with a lesson. And actually, this has to do with today's lesson because it's a two-part lesson. Last night was part one. Dealing with Israel, one of the best kept secrets, but I say really best kept secrets from Israel, because other people probably can see it, but if you don't care to know who you are, why should anybody else care to know? And that's one thing we often say, that everybody got to be from somewhere. Everybody got to have a origin, a homeland. And this people in the Bible that God chose are the ones that don't know their origin or their homeland. And God put it in the Bible telling you they wouldn't because of disobedience. So this is further proof that God, the God of the Bible, is the real God, and this is his word, because he have foretold in detail what would happen to his people, his chosen people, and it happened just like he said. So we are witnesses that this God is real because it happened just like he said it. down to the smallest detail. And that is Israel being cursed and scattered all over the world. So that's what we're going to deal with today. We're going to deal with the curse part of it. Last night was part 1, and we focused on the color. That's the title, Israelites, a black people cursed but still chosen by God. Israelites, a black people. And again, we understand the color is not that important ordinarily, except you got a big white lie saying that everybody in the Bible pretty much is white. Jesus was white, and that's just not the case. And it's easy to disprove that. So that's why it's necessary to even point out what color the Israelites are, because the lie been told. And we pointed out last night, we showed that Moses looked just like the Egyptians. Paul, the apostle from the tribe of Benjamin, looked like the Egyptians. He was mistaken for one, just like Moses was. And it's too much proof showing that the Egyptians, which come from Ham, Mizrahim, are black people. So you got all kind of artifacts that we got on these boards here that was dug up on the left side, that was dug up from tombs. The right side of the board we're going to focus on today was dealing with the curses, where they was hanging like wasn't no tomorrow, hanging brothers. And some of them, they said, well, they committed some crime, but they wasn't carrying out no real judicial system. Mobs was just hanging people. And I'm sure people from all nations have been hung, but nobody has been hung like us at will. Some people from down south, they said, look, they ain't even like to wear ties, because they said they ain't going to help nobody hang them. They said, you giving them a head start wearing a tie. But that's another example, because the Lord say, and it's in the Bible, that's proof of you being cursed. Anybody that get hung on a tree, and if you got a whole group of people being hanged, they got to worry about that. That's another proof that these people are cursed. But that's the title again, Israelites, a black people cursed, but still chosen by God. And that's hard to get through people's head, because all the drama that God has put on his people, that will make the average person assume Israel don't matter. And that's what the modern religion teaches, that Israel is done away with. Israel don't matter. Jesus started a new people, a new religion called the Christian religion. That lets you know they don't know Jesus. He started the Christian church. Look, Jesus was dealing with an Israelite church. That's what people need to understand. And he didn't start a new one. He was gathering and fixing the old one. He didn't start a new one. But that's one of the biggest lies and deceptions, to get you to think that God's people don't matter no more and he done away with it. But it's easy to think that when you look at how he curses people. You say, well, maybe he is done with them. But he's telling you, like we read last night, he said, I am the Lord and I change not. That's what he said. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed. So Israel going to be around forever, because the Lord chose us and he don't change with his plan. Even he won't let us make him change. No matter how bad we have been, he said, look, I'm just going to whip the daylights out of you, and then I'm still going to make you do what you need to do. After I get through whipping you, just like you whip a child. You whip a child enough, they get tired of them whipping. They say, okay, I might as well do what I'm supposed to do. Keep from getting these whoopings. Well, that's exactly what the Lord is doing. So we're going to focus on the curse end, because like I said, we pointed out the blackness, that this people is a black people, just like the Hamites are black. But the Israelites, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's name was changed to Israel. He had 12 sons known as the 12 tribes of Israel. They were descendants of Shem, Noah's oldest son. Because all of Noah's sons populated the whole earth as we know it today. But now, Noah's other youngest son, Ham, he had dark races, but the dictionary told us he produced dark races, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, but not the Negroes, because they knew the Negroes came from another source. See, everybody know but us. A lot of people know but us. We the ones that don't know. And the sad thing is we don't even care. I say it all the time. We are people that's satisfied with being nobody from nowhere. How you walking around don't have a clue who you originally are? Negro is not a nation. Colored folk is not a nationality. Black is not even a nationality. Nigga definitely ain't a nationality. Coon not a nationality. You got to figure something out. None of those are nationalities. African American is not a nationality. You focusing on another continent and a country. Those are not nationalities. Like Italians from Italy, Ethiopians from Ethiopia, Chinese from China, Polish people from Poland, French people from France. You could go across the board and you still ain't gonna get to the black land. I guess we the black folks from Blackula. But the Lord spelled that out, but that's because of our sins. We've been cut off from our identity, from our original heritage, who we were. He told it all in the Bible. So when you see it, you realize that, hey, this God is true. But the most important thing is that God don't change, and regardless of how severely he have cursed his people, he made sure you to understand he don't change, and we still his chosen people. And in the end, he gonna bring us home. That's the real good news. You can't stay in slavery forever, and we still in slavery now. We just don't know it. They think Abraham Lincoln freed us. People talking about we free now. Look, you still got the slave master's name. How you free? Don't even know where home is. You really a slave. You would be a better slave if you knew where home was. Say, I'm going home one day. But you don't even know where home is. And like I said, don't care. Isaiah, the 1st chapter, verse 3 said, Israel, my people, doth not know. He said, the ox know his owner. He compared Israel to the dumb ox. He said, the ox know his owner. And a donkey, an ass, know his master's crib. But Israel, my people, don't know. And worse than that, he said, they don't even consider. You've been scattered in slavery all over the world, don't even know where your original homeland is, and don't even seek to find it out. But we're going to get into it. Israelites are black people, cursed but still chosen by God. Matthew 15, that's where we ended last night, showing, because this is the biggest deception, that Jesus started some brand new thing when he came. He ain't dealing with it. He done away with Israel. See, Jesus just for us Christians. You're lying on Jesus. Matthew 15 and verse 21. Matthew 15 and verse 21. We're going to read through 24. Matthew 15 and 21 through 24. Go ahead.
Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast.
Now we're going to read about them in Joel later on. Tyre and Sidon. This was some other black people, some Canaanites, some Hamites that neighbored Israel's. Because Israel didn't even kick all the Canaanites out the land like the Lord told them to. So you still have some of them around. And Tyre and Sidon is some of the people, other black people like us. We think it's a black thing. It ain't no black thing. It's a nationhood thing, which we done forgot about that. We don't know nothing about nationhood. We focus on the color. Whites don't focus on the color. Gentiles know that there are different nations among white peoples. Russians, French, Italians, Irish, all kind of different white nationalities. And they have something to recognize their heritage. What do people that celebrate Columbus Day, who are they, what heritage is that recognizing? Italians. What heritage is St. Patrick's Day recognizing? Irish. And some black people, you talking about, I got a little Irish in me too. But so they know their heritage. But we don't know nothing. We walk around thinking it's a black thing when it's plenty black nationalities, just like it's plenty white nationalities. So these are some other black nationalities, Tyre and Zidon. So, and we're going to read about it a little later in the lesson. So Jesus went into these areas so knowing, and Jesus know who everybody is, knowing that it's some non-Israelites, but there's still some Israelites around there as well. So he went in the coast of Tyre and Zidon, and what happened, verse 22?
And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast,
and
cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David.
Now she was a woman of Canaan. So she was a Canaanite, and she said, look, have mercy on me. She knew who Jesus was, too, because Jesus was a descendant of David. Though he didn't have an earthly father, he was just made that way. And the Lord could do that. The Lord made Adam from dust. It's not hard to make Jesus of the seed of David. So she said, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Go ahead.
But he answered her not a word.
But he ignored her. Because Jesus don't care what you feel. He don't care what you think. He know his will, and he know the mission that he was on. He didn't even care. He just ignored her at first. That would have been, that was going to be the easy way out if he could have, that would have worked. But what happened?
And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she cried after us.
So she must have been really hot on their tail, kept bugging them, and so the disciples told him why don't you deal with this woman and send her away, because she bugging the heck out of us. She cried after us. Why don't you deal with this woman? Send her away or whatever. And so, but now Jesus is going to address the situation. What did he say?
But he answered her and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Now, how in the world you going to think that Jesus don't care about Israel and he started a new church called the Christian church or with Gentiles or somebody else? How you going to pass that off as truth when it's a bold-faced lie according to Jesus' own words? And he went to great lengths, brothers and sisters, to show it. He went to great lengths because healing somebody of a devil wasn't no issue. That's why the woman came to him. She know what he can do. She done seen and heard what he could do. She know it. So casting out this devil out her daughter wasn't a thing for Jesus to do at all. But he's, nope, can't do it. He said, I'm not sent, but unto the lost. So he's laying down the order that he got, that him and the Father got. He deal with Israel. So it don't matter. And notice he called Israel the lost sheep. So yeah, see, granted, Israel messed up. Are we jacked up as a people? That's what make people think we done away with. We so jacked up. It's easy to say, them people, who them? They the chosen people? They ain't good for nothing. But that's why Jesus called us lost. We lost, but he is the finder. He's seeking the lost sheep. That's his mission. And he can't do nothing till he deal with the lost sheep. Like I was reading the scripture this morning, and it really just let me know, look, if the Lord don't gather Israel from slavery, the rest of the world just in trouble forever. They ain't going to never know God. If the Lord don't bring us from slavery, they ain't going to know God. Because this how the Lord worked. This how God worked. He worked through Israel. It don't get no clearer than this. Why don't a pastor read this to their congregation? They got a whole lot of explaining to do. They read this. If they stumble across this, they going to act like they ain't even read it. Because how you going to explain that and you make like Israel don't matter and everything is done away with in the Old Testament? Read it one more time, 24.
But he answered and said,
I
am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
So obviously that woman was not an Israelite, right? So that's why he wouldn't heal her daughter. He said, nope, I'm not sent. We're going to read a little further right here, because it is not that the Lord don't care for other nations. He just got order to his operation. He deal with Israel first. That's his chosen. He chose them to serve him first, and once he get them straight, he could deal with other people. See, some Israelites act like the Lord don't care about nobody. Now, he deal with other people eventually, but he got order to his operation, because he eventually healed a woman's daughter because she humbled herself so great. See, that show you he's still for everybody ultimately. He's not just on a mission to save Israel only. He's on a mission to save Israel first. Paul said the Jew first, then the Gentile. But go ahead, read a little further.
Verse 25.
Uh-huh.
Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me.
See, that woman wasn't giving up. Lord, help me. Go ahead.
But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs.
See, an average person would have got offended because he called the woman a dog. Average person would have got offended, went off stomping off, probably would have cursed him out nowadays. Oh, you ain't nothing in it. We're going to call me a dog. Who you think you is? But they wouldn't have got nothing from Jesus. And he called her a dog because ultimately the only people, the chosen people, were the only people that knew God. Other people might have thought they knew God, called themselves worshiping God. They didn't know. So he given a comparison and said, look, I got to deal with the chosen. I got to deal with the children first. So he gave a comparison. So yeah, he put in the dog category because you don't understand. You don't understand God, and unfortunately, it's not time for you yet. So that's why he put it in that category. But, you know, hey, that's just the way. This Jesus talking. Look like Jesus is a little, what people, now you say stuff like this nowadays, they be like, oh, that church over there is prejudiced. Well, you believe in a prejudiced Jesus then. According to this, and it wasn't even no racial thing because all these people were black. The woman was black. See, it's about nationhood. She was from the coast of Tyre and Zidon, Canaanite. So it ain't even about race or color. It's about nationhood. And he was partial to his own nation first because that's the order. So she came and said, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not meat, which means good, to take the children's bread and to cast it to dog. So he literally called her a dog. He put in the dog category because in terminology, the people outside of Israel were unclean. They were unclean. So he put in that category. And did she get huffy and puffy and mad at him? What did she do? This woman was smart. Go ahead.
Verse 27.
Uh-huh.
And she said, truth, Lord.
She said, look, I'll be a dog. I'm going to get this blessing from you, though, right now. She said, truth, Lord, I got you on that. Go ahead.
Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table.
She said, can a sister get some crumbs? I'm just trying to get a few crumbs. This ain't nothing for you to do. That was some humility, right? She was humble. She was smart enough to humble herself because she knew he had it and she knew she had to accept his order. See, people don't want to acknowledge. People act like we do a lesson about Israel. They get offended. Why are you talking about that? Because it's in the Bible. That's why we're talking about it. It's all over the Bible. And according to Jesus' own mouth, it must be important, right? People get offended, but hey, you ain't doing nothing but messing yourself up from your blessing, getting offended at the word of God. This woman didn't get offended. She was real smart. She said, that's okay. Truth, Lord. But yet, you know the dogs get them crumbs, and that's exactly what dogs be waiting on, don't they? Dogs be around the table looking. We got a dog. I understand this perfectly now. That dog, that's a greedy dog. Probably don't even be hungry. Be looking for some crumbs to fall. Time we sit down and eat, dog be right there. Don't get up and leave. Dog be scrounging around trying to see what's on the floor. So she hit him with that. What Jesus say then? 28.
Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt.
See, now he did it, didn't he? He went out of order. God can do that too. You know, basically, he like saying, you know, I don't normally get down like this, but your daughter's straight. I don't normally do this. But for you, you got some faith. I'm going to do this for you. That show you how the Lord get down. He said, oh, woman, great is your faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. But she had to show some humility, didn't she? Go ahead.
And her daughter was made whole from that very hour.
She got that blessing. But she got it out of order because she non-Israelite. And Jesus was on a mission to heal and gather the lost sheep of Israel first. That's the order. And you can't change that order. Now, how you going to tell me nowadays Israel don't matter and the Gentiles, the Pope and all them run the church? The Pope know he not Israel. He going to have to humble himself if he want to get salvation. But now, let's go to Isaiah 43. So that shows off the bat, brothers and sisters, that it don't matter that we lost and cursed, which we're going to show in this lesson. Jesus was looking for the lost sheep. So regardless of what has happened to Israel, we are still his chosen people. That can't be taken away. And that's the good news. That's something for us to fall back on. No matter how low we done fail, that's the very reason we still around on the scene. We are not annihilated because we still his chosen people. He got to keep us around. He got to use us. God can't lie. That's why he got to keep some Israelites around and use them in the end. But let's show you that we indeed cursed. We're messed up people. God put it on us for our disobedience. Isaiah 43:27. Go ahead, read that.
Thy first father hath sinned.
Now, he's talking about Israel. See, the whole Bible is dictated to and through Israel. Just like Jesus just said in the New Testament, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now we in the Old Testament, he's talking about the same people, brothers and sisters. See, God's people is the church. That's where the church starts. And other nationalities got to come and be a part of God's people who know how to serve him, because he give it to them to serve him. He give it to Israel to serve him. So now he's telling them how we got in trouble, though. He said, your first father have sinned, and what else?
And thy teachers have transgressed against me.
And your teachers have transgressed against me. You know the students messed up if the teachers messed up. Go ahead.
Therefore I have profaned the princes of the sanctuary,
and
have given Jacob to the curse, and Israel to reproach.
See, he said, because y'all messed up, he said, y'all sinned from day one. So it was inevitable. And he said, therefore I have profaned the princes of the sanctuary. See, these are the teachers and the leaders, the priest word, the ones that were supposed to show the people the way of God. But they was out of order. That's like it said in Chronicles, 2 Chronicles 36. It said, when the Lord destroyed Israel, destroyed the capital, destroyed the temple that he built at Jerusalem, when he destroyed it, the reason why he did it, he said, because the chief priests and the elders transgressed greatly against the Lord. And when he sent prophets to come tell them, look, y'all out of order, the Lord going to deal with y'all, they didn't want to listen. They're like, people don't want to listen to us like we crazy and we reading the Bible to them. We telling them, but they don't want to hear that. You know, yeah, all these churches out here are wrong. Don't nobody want to hear that. But if it's the truth, you need to listen. You worshiping what you don't know. You worshiping a lie. Just like they just got through with this Christmas and this fake New Year's. Like fake, like Trump talk about fake news, that's fake news, fake New Year's. But the bottom line is, Israel got in trouble for sin, so the Lord said, therefore I have profaned the princes of the sanctuary and have given Jacob to the curse and Israel to reproaches. And that's what didn't happen. So he letting you know. So this is the only way now that you can identify the chosen people, the Israelites. First of all, we know they black. But that ain't enough because there's a whole lot of black nationalities. Ethiopians, Kenyans, Egyptians, Zimbabwe. You got a whole lot of black nationalities. That is not enough. Jesus was just dealing with this woman of Canaan, Tyrians, all kind of black people. So it's not enough just to say Israel is black. What black people is Israel? The ones that's cursed. That's the ones that's Israel. The ones that's been cursed by God. That's how you know who Israel is. They've been cursed, and he said, giving Israel to the reproaches. What does reproaches mean? That means, hey, you disliked and you just hated. You just messed up. And then people wonder why we in the predicament we in. Because this is us. That's the only way you can identify them once they got cursed. Go back to Deuteronomy 28, because we always read this to spell the curses out, because this is the chapter that really let us know who we are. Because it spells out in detail. We ain't going to read it all, but it spells out in thorough detail all the bad stuff that have happened to the curse. And that's the problem with some people. They don't want to talk about no curse. And I get it, but how you going to ignore it? Yeah, I ain't going to talk about it. I don't want to talk. I don't even want to hear it. Look, it's in the Bible for a reason. But some people, no, I ain't claiming that. I just want to claim the blessing. Look, there's no such thing as a blessing unless there's such thing as a curse. So you need to know about both of them. We need to know both ends of the spectrum so we can deliver ourselves from the curse and get the blessing. That's what we need to know. And that's what God tells you. He just told you he cursed some people. Obviously, he wants you to know what he's doing, brothers and sisters. Deuteronomy 28. This way he foretold it at, though. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. We're going to give you a little taste of a blessing, but that's about all you're going to get. 2 verses. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Okay, so like everything else, who is he talking to through Moses? He's talking to Israel. The whole Bible is dictated to and through Israel, brothers and sisters. He's talking to Israel. When he brought them out of Egypt, they was in the desert on their way to the promised land. So he spelled it out for them. He said, look, this is the deal here. You get ready to go in this land. Look, I can give you anything you want. I can make it real good for you. But the stipulation is you must obey me. You can't be doing your Christmas and other folly, worshiping other gods. You can't do that because that's not about him. You can't do anything you want to do in my land. But if you hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. See, we talking nationhood. Israel is a nation of people. The problem is we've been cursed now because we didn't follow through on this right here. And God is fair. He told you. It's no excuse when he tell you before it happened. It ain't like he didn't tell you, and just drop some drama on you. Oh, we didn't know we was going to be cursed. We would have did right, God, if you told you're going to do all this to her. No, he told you in advance. Right? He ain't telling you, right? Well, he ain't told you about the curse yet, but we're going to read it. But he's telling you the stipulation for getting blessed and being set on high above all nations is to obey. Then what? Verse 2. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Oh, if all these blessings shall come on you, and they just going to overtake you. In other words, you're going to be engulfed in blessings. You're just going to be blessed. There won't be nothing you can do. Everywhere you turn, just going to be stuff dropping out. Like it probably be like my mother used to say. I used to ask her for money all the time. She said, what you think, money grow on trees? Well, maybe when you blessed, that's how it really going to be. Everything going to be working for you. But the stipulation was if you hearken. But now we can't be naive, brothers and sisters, and not address what if you don't. God is addressing it. Skip down to verse 15. He mentioned some more about some blessings, but we're not here to deal with that because we focused on what happened to Israel on the curse end of things. Israel, we're going to get back to being blessed before it's all said and done, but we live in a curse. We live in a nightmare right now. That's why you got police shootings on one people more than anybody. Other people get shot by the police too, but not at the rate we do. Nowhere near. And we kill our own self at a greater rate. But now, skip down to verse 15 and go ahead.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
See, he got to tell you the flip side of things. He told you if you hearken, you're going to be on high above all nations. You're going to be the top nation because you're going to be my people. And then, in turn, you're going to show the other nations what they need to do. Because you're going to be the leading nation. And then he said, and all these blessings going to come on you and just overwhelm you, just overtake you. You're going to be overtaken with blessings. But now here's the flip side. It shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to do what?
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day.
What's going to happen?
And all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Should we just act like we can't claim this? That's what people want to do. I want to read that. I ain't claiming that. I say all the time, it don't matter. It's going to claim you if you don't hearken. It's going to claim you. And the Lord tell you about something. He tell you about people that try to ignore it. And I heard that so many times. Matter of fact, I heard it real recently. You mentioned curse. Why you talking about cursing? We ain't claiming no curse. We don't want to even speak that into existence. It's already been spoken, dummy. Right here. God spoken into existence. No, I ain't claiming. I ain't going to think about that. I'm just blessed no matter what. So you don't want to do what the Lord say, and you still think you blessed. Let's flip over. I'm going to throw this in here. Go, keep your finger here. We're going to come right back because we ain't done. Go to Deuteronomy 29. See, the Lord cover everything. He covered people that get off into stupidity like, I ain't going to claim. How you going to not claim? The curse is claiming you. You got a death rate, a mortality rate where you most likely to be killed. 100 times more than anybody else. All kind of diseases going to hit you more than anybody else. Lost your identity. Don't know who you are, where you from. What it say? Deuteronomy 29. I'm just going to read this verse here. Deuteronomy 29 and verse 19. Just read that one verse. I just want to read this just to show you how you foolish if you try to ignore something that the Lord said. Whether it's bad, it don't matter. If the Lord said it, it is what it is. Go ahead.
And it come to pass when he heard the words of this curse that he blessed himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace. Though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to thirst.
You see what the Lord? That's a drunk person. That you read that the Lord said in his word, I'm going to curse you if you do so and so. I am going to curse you. But you hear it, the words of this curse, but you say, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I ain't going to look that way. Well, your face going to get smashed on this side. It don't matter. It should come to pass when he hears the words of this curse that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, even though I walk in the imagination of mine heart. You lean on your own understanding. And he said, in essence, the Lord said, that's in essence, you adding drunk. You was drunk. You was thirsty for the word of God. Now you done got drunk. You adding drunkenness to thirst. You can't get out of it. Only way to get out of it is to follow the stipulation with the Lord. So let's go back where we're supposed to be, Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, and pick it up at verse 16. Because he said, if you don't obey, all these curses going to come upon you and overtake you, just like the blessings for obedience is curses for disobedience. We can't ignore. And we already know this got fulfilled because we read Isaiah 43. He said, your first father sinned and your teachers transgressed against me. Therefore, I have profaned the prince of the sanctuary and given Jacob to the curse. We got it. But he warned us in the beginning. Verse 16. Go ahead.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Wherever you at, you're going to be cursed. And God can't lie. That's why we've been getting it. Go ahead.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Wherever you at. And he goes through a whole lot of wherever. It don't matter what stipulation. And this showing you something too, because we see most of us, well, we up in Israelites that's up north. We up here because some of our foreparents tried to get away from the curse down south. Well, it's just a different type of curse here, but you're still cursed. See, we found that out. You're still cursed. It might not be as blatant as it was down, but you're still cursed. Because he said, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Wherever you at, you're going to be cursed. But now, skip over to verse 25, and let's get it in detail. Let's see some of the curses in detail. Go ahead.
The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemy.
Now, who doing it? See, you can't blame nobody if the Lord say he making it happen. Even though he using other people to do it. This is how the Lord operate. He ain't coming down and going to hit nobody in the face, but he going to let somebody else do it. But it can't happen unless he let it happen. So he said, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, right? Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
See, and ultimately, there goes slavery, being removed. Because That's the main ingredient of this curse. Losing your land, losing your identity, being carted off into slavery. That's the main ingredient of it. Go ahead to verse 30 and read that.
Thou shalt betroth the wife, and another man shall lie with her.
Now, this happened. This is not just, just regular adultery. See, that happened to people of all nations one time or another. A man have a wife and somebody sleep with her. See, he's not talking about just somebody sneaking in the back door committing adultery with another man's wife. He's not talking about that, brothers and sisters. He's talking about what we know went on wholesale when slavery was rough. I always say when slavery is rough because we're still in slavery. When it was rougher than it is now. And that is the master wouldn't have no problem just taking your wife in your face. If that ain't a curse, I don't know what is. And you had to live with it. Or you could have died with it. Either way. A lot of people say, I wouldn't have did that. Well, wait till you have to experience that. But either way, that's fine. You say, I wouldn't have took it, you would have been dead. Because the Lord said it was going to happen, right? And for some men, that might have been the best way out. I ain't going to say what I would have did, but I would have been thinking of plotting something. So, look, he said, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Not sneak and lie with her. Just take your wife in your face. Go ahead.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Now, you know this is just straight up abuse, servitude, being misused. Plenty of people build houses for other people. You got contractors that build houses for other people and don't dwell in the house they build. But again, he's not talking about that. He's talking about you building a house, you working, you enslaved to build a house. You don't get no credit for it and the house not yours. And you don't get no money for building it. You're going to build a house and another man, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Go ahead.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
See, you doing all the work in the field, picking cotton, sharecropping, sugar cane. You doing all of that work, but you not reaping no proceeds from it. See, this is the curse. This is how the curse is starting to shape up. And it only fit one people, brothers and sisters. That's how we know the people say they Jews. They not the real ones because they don't fit the conditions that God said would be on his people for disobedience. Skip over to verse 33 and now keep reading. I'm sorry.
Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes.
Before your face, huh? They ain't going to sneak and do it while you sleep. They're going to be right in your face. Boy, I need that ox. I need that ox, boy. And they just going to take your ox. And then if you working for them, like they had this movie I just saw recently, saw clips of it. If you working for them and you got to work for them and you don't have nothing to plow with and they let you use their ox or their horse, then they're going to charge you for that. So you definitely, that's when slavery was supposed to be over. But you still was in servitude. He said, your ox shall be slain before thine eyes. What else?
And thou shalt not eat thereof.
And you ain't going to get none of it. Somebody going to be eating your food right in front of you. It's your ox. And they going to kill it and be eating it, and you sitting there looking at it. Go ahead.
Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face.
Oh, violently taken away. Your donkey, your ass will be violently taken away. Before thy face, go ahead.
And shall not be restored to thee.
And won't be given back. They ain't going to give you nothing back. Go ahead.
Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies. And thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Go ahead.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Oh, you think they would stop at your children, honey? Yeah, they take my animals and stuff. They wouldn't dare take my children and sell them to nobody, would they? Oh, yeah, because this is called a curse. This is not called easy street. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. They got movies about this. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to, acknowledge it. But it's recorded history. You can't even get away from it. Your sons, your daughters shall be given to another people. And what you do about it? I mean, they didn't sneak and take them either. You knew it. They're like, give me your daughter. You can be crying all you, give me your daughter. The deal done. I sold her already. You be like, oh, master, don't sell her. I sold her. Now give her here now. Go ahead, 32, read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Well, that's a curse, isn't it?
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
And nothing you could do about it. And if you'd have tried some people tried some. Nat Turner tried some. They don't even want to talk about him. But still, how he ended up? Dead and skinned and everything. He ended up dead. But that might have been the way to go for some people. Go ahead.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
Oh, you had a land once upon a time. You had a land. That's over with now. And he's showing you it was going to be over with because he said the fruit of your land and all your labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
But on the other hand, you're going to be only oppressed. That's going to be your middle name. Get used to it. You're going to be only oppressed. Now, who is hollering about they being oppressed to this very day, brothers and sisters? More than anybody. One group of black people. That's why I don't like when they try to make it a minority thing. It ain't no minority thing. No, it's this black people that's been cursed thing. It's Israel that's been cursed. He talking about his people. Yeah, bad stuff happened to people all night, but not. It's wholesale to Israel, to this nation. It might happen to a handful of people from other nations, but it happened to Israel wholesale. He said, you're going to be only oppressed. Every time you born into this world, every child born into the world, that's what they're going to learn. And they first question, they went, well, why they do this to us? God made it this way when you got some understanding. Because we disobeyed. It's our fault, too. That's why you can't even get mad. Well, see, the white man, he's so messed. He do it so wrong. Look, God is the ultimate one doing it. And it's for disobedience. Now, anybody that's wrong, God know how to deal with them when the time comes. But, hey, we reaping the proceeds of disobedience. But skip over now to verse 37. Save a little time. Go ahead.
And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead.
So you getting kicked out of your land, that's automatic. You getting kicked out, somebody else going to have your land. You ain't going to even know nothing about it. Now we don't even know we got a land. Don't even care either. Got the nerve to march on Washington. Look, if you're going to march on Washington, tell them to tell you where your land is and give it to you. Not some rights that they can act like they can give you and take away. Ask them where your land is and tell them to get, but that ain't going to happen. So you don't have no land, you among other nations struggling, but he said, and thou shalt become an astonishment. See, it's one group of people that's amazing, and it's not good amazement. It's an astonishment. It's like, wow. What's wrong with them people? That's why people want to, that's why people got all kinds of derogatory stuff to say about us because of this curse. You're in astonishment. It's amazing. And a proverb. That means they got more riddles, more catchy sayings about you than anybody. They got ethnic slurs for all nationalities, but ain't nobody in the running for first place but us. Nobody even close. There's not even second place is way behind on ethnic slurs. We can just name them. I named a few already, from nigger, coon. You just name it. All of them. Oh, they like watermelon, don't they? Like what would be wrong with that anyway? Well, that's another thing. Oh, that fried chicken. They always eating fried chicken. So this is what he's saying. You're going to become a astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. That's the nickname because you lost your nationhood. You're not Israelite from Israel no more. You are Negro. That's a byword. That's a nickname. You colored. In a matter of 40, 50 years, we'd have been 4 different names. Even they put them on birth certificate. You know that, don't you? Some people's birth certificate got Negro on there. I said it before. It was a true story. I don't know which way it was with the man or the woman, but I'm going to say it this way. A Negro man married a colored woman. Might have been the other way around. That's what was on their birth certificate. Colored was on one, and on one the other one it was Negro, because they had changed. We had came up from colored and became Negroes. Now they got black on there, I think. These are just bywords, brothers and sisters. These don't correspond to a nation. It's not nationality. But this is what the Lord said. But skip over to verse 41 and read it.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them.
Of course not. Why?
For they shall go into captivity.
Slavery. They going into slavery. Go ahead. Verse 45. Go ahead.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee.
See, we just skipped and hit a few, and it's many more we could have just read straight through. We don't have time to do all that. You can read on your own. But we talking curses, and we need to read it because God is telling us about it, right? You think God telling you something in the Bible, you just say, I'm going to ignore it. We saw what happened. He told you in the next chapter, if you try to turn a blind eye to it, you add drunkenness to thirst. God said you're going to be cursed, you're going to be cursed. You got the option to stop the curse. How? By being obedient. That's the way out of the curse, not to ignore it. That it don't even exist. I ain't going to claim it. Like I said, it's going to claim you. People saying that, and they sick and struggling, working, don't have enough money. Oh, I ain't going to claim it. Got all kind of baggage. Got high blood pressure. Got sugar diabetes. Got everything going wrong. So it's already getting you. Because this is a part of it. He said, moreover, kids getting killed at will. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and what else?
And pursue thee.
And pursue thee. They're going to be on your trail. And they're going to get you. Go ahead.
And overtake thee.
And overtake you. Go ahead.
Till thou be destroyed.
Till you be destroyed. And here we are. We destroyed. He didn't mean totally annihilated. He showed you other instances what destroy mean. For all practical purposes, we destroyed as a people, though. We don't know who we are, where we from. Don't even have our original nothing. Don't have a clue. We are destroyed. He said, till you be destroyed. Why? One more time.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
That's the reason why. You can't even blame nobody. This is the reason, because God controls it. Go ahead.
To keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee.
That's the reason why. Go ahead.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder.
They are the curses. They're going to be on you for a sign and a wonder for the duration. They shall be upon thee for a sign. See, this is the only way you can recognize the children of Israel, the Israelites of the Bible, who got cursed. Clearly we got cursed because Isaiah told us he given us to the curse. This is the only way you can recognize by the curse. That's the sign. Because you lost your identity, and you know it's controversy who the Israelites or real Jews are. That's why they just not trying to figure out, well, what's the capital of Israel. How you trying to figure that out in 2018 with all this modern technology? You don't know? Anybody should have been able to tell, but that's because the wrong people there, and they fighting with other people, so it's disputed. So this is why they can't settle the dispute, because the real ones are in captivity under this curse. These curses, that's what they are, shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and what?
And upon thy seed forever.
That means it ain't going to last just a generation. That means every child is going to be born to the end of time, to the end of the world. Once you get cursed, we've been cursed forever. Every child born into Israel is born into a cursed situation. That's ugly, isn't it? That show you God don't play. God say it's going to be a certain way. That's why some people, you know, when they don't realize what's going on, but you can see it happening, but you don't know why. That'll mess your mind up. Some people be hating God. God, why you let this happen to us? Why you do it this way? Why this happen? Why this happen? And then God had to give them some understanding before he had to kill them. Be like, this why, dummy. Read the Bible, you'll know why. And then you read, oh, we messed up. That's why this happened. It's a reason for it. But it'll drive you crazy if you don't know why it's happening. That's why we messed up as a people. Bad situation, shoot. If I didn't know the truth, I'm telling you, I'd be where I used to be, out on the corner drinking and hanging out, doing whatever. Eating, drinking, doing whatever. Because if that's all it's about, then we in trouble. But knowing that it's a way out, that's what you need to understand. They shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Skip over now to verse 63, and we're going to get out of this chapter. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good.
See, he wanted to bless us, and he blessed us for a little while when we first got to the promised land. So he did, the Lord said, he rejoiced over us to do us good, but now he's still on that curse side. He said, it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good. Let's see what the Lord rejoicing over now. The Lord is something else. He don't play. Go ahead.
And to multiply you.
And to multiply you. So what?
So the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you.
Wow. Nobody told you that. Tell your neighbor that. Say, neighbor. But look, this stuff you need to know. This stuff you need to find out. Like I say all the time, if the Lord is going to bless me, brothers and sisters, if I'm going to automatically be blessed, I don't even really have to know that, because that's going to take care of itself. I'm going to deal with that. When I go home, like some of these false prophets be on TV having people get up, I would listen to your show, and I need some money, and I opened the mailbox. It was a check for $76,000 in there. Like, okay. But anyway, even if I go home and that's that way today, I'm going to handle that. I'm going to know how to handle that. But what I really need to know, if I'm going to go home and it's a bear up in my house, I would like some foreknowledge of that. See, that's what I'm saying. You really need to know the bad stuff that's coming so you can be prepared for it. And this is what the Lord telling you. So just as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you. Somebody need to know this side of the Lord. Go ahead.
And to bring you to nothing.
And to bring you to nothing. That's what the Lord, that's what he done brought us to nothing. Go ahead.
And ye should be plucked off. And you should be plucked from off the land, whether thou goest to possess.
And you're going to be plucked off the land. And everywhere you end up, you got taken there. It's just like he going to tell us, Jesus going to tell us how we got led away captive in all nations. Well, you look at this country right here, people killing themselves to get here. Our ancestors was killing themselves not to come. One people was brought here on their own. But he's saying you're going to be plucked from off. That means you didn't migrate nowhere. Somebody came and plucked you. They came and got you off the promised land. Now you're in slavery. Keep reading.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
See, that's where we at. He scattered her. You didn't migrate either. They came and plucked you. Go ahead.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other.
That's worldwide slavery. See, we're not just in America. We all over. Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
And we doing exactly that. That's why we doing what everybody else. We doing what the Gentiles doing. We serving other gods. We think we believing in the real God, and we serving other gods. None of what we call ourselves believing in is in the Bible either. Go ahead.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
And you still suffering. You ain't got no ease. Even when times done got better, because times done got better, I can't deny that in this slavery that we in, but still it's a people that, hey, still don't have no ease. They got to be more concerned. You know, even you got famous people. They famous and well known. Hey, they get introduced to the curse too. Go home and got nigga written all over their garage. They realize, yeah, you might be rich. You just a rich nigga. But this what he telling you. It's still, you could be rich and you still don't got it. Why you think you got football players? They millionaires, but hey, they see what's going on and they suffering some of the same stuff. But they see what's going on to the people. So they protested. But he said, among these nations thou shalt have no ease. Just like, you know, they had to tell, they got a thing where, black parents had to talk with their kids and what to do with the police. Other people don't have to do that. Other people don't have to sit here, okay, Joey, let me tell you how you act when the police stop you. Joey been to curse the police out and police won't do nothing. I done seen it happen. You know, somebody black with a white guy, and they start talking crazy to the police. You be looking at him like, dude, cool out. Yeah, I talk crazy to the police myself, but that's because I was, a little high and stuff. But I told one police, you ain't going to take me by your boy. The Lord just had to save me. I was talking real crazy. But when you see a Gentile do it, when you got some understanding, you be like, and they get away with it. But now, he said among these nations, you ain't going to have no ease. Go ahead.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
See, trembling heart, failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. What else?
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
See, you in the yearbook for most likely to be killed. Most likely, your life is hanging in doubt more than anybody. Go ahead.
And thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were evening.
Now this is just your living condition, brothers and sisters. Once you got kicked out of your land and you among other nations, you're not liked among other nations. Matter of fact, you hate it. You downright hate it. That's why you ain't got no, like you really did something. That's why I want to say, and that's the way the people feel. They really like somebody done something to them. Like I haven't done nothing to the Klan. But it's like I might as well have, right? Haven't done nothing to Gentiles, but to some it's like, hey, you just hate it. But this from the Lord. He said you just worried all the time. In the morning you say, would God it were evening. In the evening I should say, would God it were morning. For what?
Would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear. And for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see.
Just rough. And ultimately what's going to happen?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
You even going to go into slavery on ships. Egypt stands for slavery because that was the first slavery he brought us out of. That's what it is. But we're going to make sure we know it. He talking about slavery, brothers and sisters, on slave ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Now you got some Edomite scholars be trying, that don't mean slavery. Well, you explain it to me then. And explain when did this happen to the so-called Jews. Egypt don't mean slavery in there. Look, he referred to Egypt all over the Bible as the house of bondage. I brought you out of Egypt, the house of bondage. Even when he gave the 10 Commandments. He said, look, you need to listen to me because I brought you out of Egypt, the house of bondage. The house of bondage. So it means slavery. And he said, when you go, you're going to go there on ships. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
And what's going to happen when you arrive on them ships? Go ahead.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
You went on slave ships. You went on slave ships. And you were sold unto your enemies for male and female slaves. And then he said, no man shall buy you. But somebody bought you because he said you were sold. But what he mean at the end is nobody going to get you out of that. Nobody ain't going to never come back to get you. We always talking about, we had leaders talking about go back to Africa. Look, if you had a place ready for you in Africa, some of your ancestors, some of your family over there should have been looking for you. They ain't never came and said, look, they're my people. Oh, yeah. Ain't nobody claiming you. That's what he mean. Nobody helping you. Nobody coming to get you. You going to be there. Once you get sold, settle in. You going to be there. And we still here. The only way we going to get out of this is by the Lord, brothers and sisters. And it's going to be dramatic. It's going to be better than when he brought us out of Egypt. That's why he's using Egypt as an analogy. But this is it. Now, let's look at some of the artifacts. We got it on the back of the handout, I guess it is. You can't even see the slave ship, can you? Oh, yeah, you see the slave ship in the middle down there. It's better online, and but we seen plenty of slave ships. Yeah, I guess it got reduced too. We seen plenty of slave ships where they packed people in like sardines, packed them in like sardines under the bottom of the ship. Couldn't hardly move. They got plenty of artifacts to show you how it looked. That's the one in the middle. You can't hardly see nothing. You can see a little bit. You see how people stacked in together. There had to be some horrible stuff. But the Lord called it in the Bible. And this is exactly, we wonder, like, how did our ancestors get here? This is exactly how they got here, right? No ifs, ands, and buts about it. No doubt about it. But now, let's look at, well, you see the one next to the slave ships. Since we here on the right, you can't hardly make it out, but that was like they were selling Negroes at the auction blocks. That's what he said. You're going to be sold to your enemies. Well, they was doing it. So these are flyers they had to sell, and you could see Negroes at least on there. That's when we was called Negroes. So, and you can see a little depiction of an auction where they got some slaves up there modeling, trying to get bought. So we know that this went on wholesale. So that's just a little historical reference. Go to Joel, the 3rd chapter. Joel 3. But we're going to see here eventually, the good news is, he's going to tell you we're going to get out of this situation. And the only way out is through God. Joel 3. So just for the record, I was talking about getting high, talking crazy to the police. That ain't yesterday or a few days ago. That was a good 30 years ago, 30 plus years, over 30 years. Because I set the record straight. I ain't smoked weed or did that since 1986. Only time I drank since then is on the Passover because I knew I couldn't handle it. Like I told you, I was doing some crazy stuff. The Lord had to save me from myself. Joel 3 and verse 1. Joel 3 and verse 1. Read it.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Now, he's talking about when he bring us home, but in the meantime, he going to tell you what has happened. Because this got a good ending. Everybody like good ending, but the good news is this curse, it do got a good ending. But it's only going to be for those that turn back and obey God. Because that was the stipulation to be blessed in the first place. So the stipulation hasn't changed. And if you don't turn back and obey God, hey, it's going to get worse for you. But he's talking about when he bring us back, because he got to bring Israel home, because he can't lie. Like we read last night in Malachi 3, I am the Lord and I change not, therefore you sons of Jacob are not consumed. See, if the Lord was done away with us, we would have been annihilated a long time ago. Seems like we've been on the brink. Everything bad done been done. But the Lord don't change. So now he's speaking of when he fixed things, when he bring us home. So when he said, behold, in those days, in that time when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, he's talking about bring you home from slavery. You went into captivity, I'm going to bring you back again. What are you going to have to do to effect that? Verse 2.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
That's what he got to do to bring us home. Because we scattered among all nations, and if Jesus just come and say, let my people go, which he going to do some of the same stuff, they not going to do it, though. That's why he's going to have to fight. He's going to have to get them all down here and deal with them. So to get us from, because he told us, and we just read in Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, he said, I'm going to scatter you in all nations from one end of the earth to the other. I'm even going to make sure you get to all nations because I'm going to have them take you on some ships to some faraway places. So you're going to be all over. But that's okay. In the end, I'm going to bring you from all them places. He said, I will gather all nations and bring them down where?
Into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
See, that's right outside of Jerusalem or where Jehovah judged. See, that's what it's really talking about when they talk about Armageddon in the New Testament. Well, go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
See, he said, I'm going to plead with the nations. See, now the Lord going to reverse things. And he's going to have to deal with the nations, and the nations don't know when enough is enough. They don't understand that. Pharaoh didn't know when enough was enough when he was oppressing the children of Israel back in the old days. So they're not going to understand that, look, the gig is up now. So God said he going to plead, which don't mean beg. It mean address and deal with them. There for his people and my heritage, Israel, whom he said they have scattered. See, they did it, but God made it happen. But they the ones did it. And they did it for their own selfish reasons. Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And that's exactly where it is today. We scattered among the nations, and the promised land is parted up by different people. That's why they fighting to this day. That's why in 2017, they had to try to make a declaration of Jerusalem being the capital of Israel. You ain't figured that out all this time? No, because the land has been split up and they arguing over it. That's why the so-called Palestinians, they didn't like that. Because they negotiating for part of it, and they've been fighting and throwing bombs and everything to get their portion. And so eventually they got to make some type of deal because that's what they have done. They have parted the land up while we in slavery. Go ahead. What else have they done? See, he's talking about exactly what happened to his people, and he's going to address it when he come back, even Jesus. Go ahead.
And they have cast lots for my people.
See, that's auction. That's what we read. We saw the little thing, if you could see it on the paper, what's going on at the auction blocks. Go ahead.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
He said they cast lots for my people and given a boy for an harlot. But casting lots, you bidding. You at the auction. You're trying to see who's going to win the person. And they giving a boy for an harlot, just you nothing but a piece of property. Go ahead.
And the girl for giving a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink.
And sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Didn't even think that much of a girl. Said, look, I ain't got time to drag this girl around. Give me some wine, and you can have her. Property. And then you have people trying to get reparations. That ain't going to happen. Because the Lord said they ain't going to pay you nothing back. So you had some people fighting for reparations. They saw the government wasn't going to acknowledge or do nothing. So they said, well, some of these companies should be liable because, they was making money off the slaves, and the insurance company was insuring the slave, the master for the slaves, and they shouldn't have did that. Look, it was legal. So you had some people actually sue, because some of these companies still exist, got that old money going back to slavery. That's how they got it. They still is, like J.P. Morgan, Chase. Hey, they got money going back to slavery. So somebody got smart and looked on the books. They said, well, we need to sue some of these companies. They threw that stuff out. Look, you can't sue them, but it was true. Some of these same companies, they profited off, where the country profited off of slavery. So it ain't no mystery. So, but they sued them. They sued some insurance companies because they said, y'all shouldn't have insured the slave for the master. You treated the slaves like property. That's what you was. They sold a girl for wine that they might drink. What else? Verse 4.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
See, now he's talking to Tyre and Zidon, and that's what I was mentioning earlier when Jesus went in that coast and he ran into that woman that wasn't an Israelite, that woman of Canaan. And she said, help me. He said, nope, I'm only sent to the lost sheep of Israel, even though he helped her eventually. So these are non-Israelites. These are Israel's neighbors, some other black people. And he talking to him. He said, what have you to do with me, Tyre and Zidon? Go ahead.
And all the coast of Palestine.
And all the coast of Palestine, all Israel's neighbors who helped us get shipped into slavery. Go ahead.
Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Go ahead.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried it into your temples, my godly pleasure, my goodly pleasant thing.
What else they do?
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that they might remove them far from their border.
See, again, that's what happened. That's how you can identify Israel, the Israelites. Under the curse, you've been sold into slavery. Slavery, slavery, slavery. Children sold into slavery. So he said, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem. This the real Jews. See, the ones say they Jews, they ain't been sold nowhere. They don't even claim to have been sold nowhere. They talk about the Holocaust, that it wasn't being sold. So they don't even claim it because they don't fit the sign of the real chosen people. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. So these are black people selling us to white people. Tyre and Zidon selling us to the Gentiles. He called them Grecians. And that in essence did what? That ye might remove them far from their border. See, when you go on them ships, you a long way from home. We got some Israelites close to the land that didn't go on ships. They over in the area. Some in what we call Africa, among other black people, look like them, but they the Israelites enslaved. But those of us whose ancestors went on ships, we far from the border. But here's the good news, verse 7.
Behold, I will raise them out of the place whether ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head.
And this haven't happened yet, so we still waiting on it. We ain't seen nothing like this where the Lord then came and brought some people out of slavery except what he did in Egypt. We waiting on part 2. But now, go to Jeremiah 17. But again, all this happened. This curse came upon us. It came upon this black people because our disobedience. He said, if you don't hearken and keep my commandments, all these curses going to come upon you, and it's sinners around being led captive into slavery. That's what it's sinners around. That's the bulk of the curse, being cut off from your heritage. And it's exactly where we fit. Because like I said, we got to be somebody from somewhere. Nobody won't step up and tell you, huh? Of course not. Only one telling you is the Lord in the scripture. He told you before it happened. Jeremiah 17:1. Read it.
The sin of Judah is written with the pen of iron.
See, that's our problem. We sinned. This is why we got sold off. The Lord let it happen. In other words, if we had been obeying the Lord and doing right, we'd still be in our own land to this day. We brought it on ourselves. Go ahead.
And with the point of a diamond.
And he said the sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron. See, this is our problem, sin. We want to blame the white man. Look, you worried about too much. You can't handle your own business. The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. Go ahead.
It is graven upon the table of their heart, and the horns, and upon the horns of your altar.
Why what?
Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills.
All that false worship we still doing. Be in church every Sunday worshiping a false God. And don't even know it. Don't even know Sunday don't have nothing to do with the Lord's Sabbath. Go ahead, verse 3.
O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and all thy treasures to the spoil. And thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders.
He said, I'm going to let them take everything you got. This was in our land. And then what? Verse 4.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
He said, thou, even thyself, you are going to, not only are they going to take all your treasures from you, even you yourself going to discontinue from your heritage that I gave you. That's why we don't have no land no more. Go ahead.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
And isn't that exactly what's been going on? You got cut off from your own land that you had once upon a time, your heritage, and you being caused to serve your enemies in a land which thou knowest not. Go ahead.
For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
See, it's going to last to the end, too. Isaiah 42. Let's look at some more plight of the curse that came upon this people, the Israelites. God going to fix it in the end, not far off, but this is the plight. This is how you can identify what black people are Israel. It's the black people that's cursed and cut off from their history, from their heritage, from their homeland. Don't even know nothing about the original tongue. You got some brothers acting like they speaking Hebrew. They don't know no Hebrew. Who spoke Hebrew when the Hebrews went into slavery? If all the Hebrews went into slavery, who was speaking Hebrew? You relied, you mean somebody else kept your language alive? Why would they do that? They faking with what they call in Hebrew. But now, Isaiah 42 and 22. Isaiah 42 and 20. I know they call some, they got a Hebrew alphabet, but they speak in Yiddish. Isaiah 42 and 22. Go ahead.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
See, this talking about this people. All this bad stuff that we want to ignore, we need to know about it so we can rectify the curse. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. Everything been done to you. Go ahead.
They are all of them snared in holes.
You in some type of trick bag. They are all of them snared in holes. Go ahead.
They are hid in prison houses.
See, all kind of statistics are how we are the majority in prison. Ain't even no doubt about it. Hid in prison houses. You don't have no record of the people say they Jews being great in prison. No, but this black people that's cursed, hey, we run the prison. They are hid in prison houses. See, the Lord covered every base. Go ahead.
They are for a prey and non-delivery.
They being taken advantage of at every turn. That means they are for a prey. That's what it means. And don't nobody help them. Don't nobody deliver them from being a prey. Go ahead.
For a spoil and none said to restore.
See, you being robbed and everything taken away from you. Just being done in. And don't nobody even say restore. They call themselves giving 40 acres and a mule. They reneged on that. They didn't restore. They say back when Clinton was president, he wanted to apologize for slavery because it's still an issue to this day. And they said, you better not apologize. Then they going to think we owe them something. So he said, well, I ain't going to do it. He just said, well, you know, we getting better as a country. We had slavery once upon a time. But nobody gave nothing back. And that's funny because other people who done been done wrong then collected money for the wrong that happened to them. Case in point, there's people that call themselves Jews. They still get money to this day for what supposedly what happened with the Holocaust. They get money to this day. Banks is giving them all kind of money for what happened because some of their stuff got taken. They got did in. They getting paid. Even the Indians. That's how I know they not Israel. Because they end up with reservations. You got brothers say, well, they Israel too. Look, you got Israel among all people. So it's some Israel among the Indians, but the Indians themselves not Israel. That's why they say, we did the Indians bad. We took the land. Let's give them some reservations. Don't let them pay taxes and let them have that little space over there. They ain't gave you no space. They gave you the projects. And you still got to pay taxes. But now, so he said, this is a people robbed and spoiled. They hid in prison house. They for a prey and none delivered. For a spoil and none said restore. This is not good. But God wants you to look at how he's cursed you and understand this is you. Go ahead, 23.
Who among you will give ear to this?
Now, who going to recognize what the situation is? That it's a reason for all this. We sinned against God. This, as bad as it is, the curse identifies that we are this people who God cannot do away with. Go ahead.
Who will hearken and hear for the time to come.
Who going to do it? Who going to find out what this is about? Go ahead.
Who gave Jacob for a sport and Israel to the robbers?
Now, who did it ultimately? It's a shame we like to blame everybody and don't attribute nothing to God. Something good happened. Oh, God, he blessed me so good. Something bad happened. Oh, that old devil, he's so wrong. Look, don't God control the devil? If God control a blessing, brothers and sisters, he got to control a curse. He got to control it. You can't be cursed without God signing off. So this is what God wants you to know. God wants you to recognize that he did it to you for your disobedience. Then you can start to address the problem and correct the matter. Who gave? He asked the question. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? In other words, who put us in this terrible predicament under this divine curse? Who did it? Go ahead.
Did not the Lord?
Did not the Lord?
He
Go ahead.
against whom we have sinned.
He against whom we sinned. That's why. The Lord did it, and he's telling you why he did it. Go ahead.
For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Wasn't that the stipulation in Deuteronomy? You will be blessed if you listen and obey. You're going to be cursed to no end if you disobey. This is exactly what happened. So he did it to us. Go ahead.
Therefore he had poured upon him the fury of his anger.
The Lord then put on us the fury of his anger. No wonder we messed up so bad. If God mad at you, you in trouble. Therefore he had poured upon him the fury of his anger. Can you imagine the fury of God's anger? If you can't, look at these Negroes. Go ahead.
And the strength of battle.
And the strength of the battle God to put on us. Go ahead.
And it had set him on fire round about.
And it set us on fire round about. Go ahead.
Yet he knew not.
And yet you don't know how in the world you're going to be on fire and you don't know it. That shows you we really not paying attention to what's really happening to us. Go ahead.
And it burned him.
And it burned him. Go ahead.
Yet he laid it not to heart.
See, that's why we don't understand who we are to this day as a whole. Because we're not laying it to heart. But now let's go further. Go to the New Testament, Luke 19. Because you might say, well, that's all that Old Testament stuff. Jesus don't care about no curse and slavery, captivity. And he don't care about that. Look, remember, Jesus said he's only sent to the lost sheep of Israel. So he got to care what's happening. And he's the one going to fix it in the end. But he put the nail in the coffin for Israel, because in Jesus' day, we had a few Israelites left in the promised land. Most of them was in slavery already. A few Israelites was left, and they rejected Jesus, so Jesus told them, okay, now the end going to come on y'all in this land. All of y'all got to get out of here now, the rest of y'all. 19 and verse 41. Luke 19 and 41, read it.
And when he came near, he beheld the city and wept over it.
See, don't nobody tell you how significant Jerusalem was to Jesus. He got near to Jerusalem, he wept over. He not weeping over Rome. He not even weeping over Mecca. He not weeping over Washington, D.C. He is weeping over Jerusalem. That's why if they were smart, they'd leave Jerusalem alone, because he's going to put a hurting on them. So he wept over it. Go ahead.
Saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace. Mm-hmm. But now they are hid from thine eyes.
See, he's weeping over because he knew the city got to be destroyed down to the ground and the people scattered out in the slavery, the rest of them that's there. He said, if you only would have known how to get this peace, what it takes to get peace, you could have had it. But now they hear from your eyes because you didn't want to listen. Didn't even want to listen to Jesus. Didn't listen to the prophets. Didn't listen to Jesus. Got all kind of preachers. They don't even want to listen. Go ahead.
For the day shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. Okay, so now you're going to get destroyed. Now your enemy's going to surround you. The day is going to come. That means it wasn't here. But again, this is of concern to Jesus. He's talking about the destruction of his people in the land and getting kicked out. That's what he's talking about.
Just like all the prophets was telling you about us going into slavery. Jesus is no different. So don't act like Jesus don't care about this topic. The day is going to come, your enemy's going to come on you, and they're going to surround this place, and they're going to lock you in until they can starve you out, so to speak. 44, I'm sorry.
And shall lay thee even with the ground.
And they're going to lay you even with the ground. That's why he said one stone wasn't going to be left upon another. Go ahead.
And thy children within thee.
And your children within you going to get destroyed. Go ahead.
And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another. Because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation.
Because you didn't understand. He came and you didn't even listen to him. We really don't want to obey God. Now, go to the 21st chapter of Luke. Because how did this story end? Jesus going to tell us. Go ahead. 21 and 24. Read it.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
And
shall be led away captive into all nations.
Oh, so Jesus telling us about little slavery too. Because he was just telling you the city going to get surrounded and they're going to kill you. And the ones they don't kill, they do what they do. They ship you out into slavery. Because God got to save some of you. That's why he made sure some of us went to slavery. That let you know, God letting you know slavery is better than death. That's why you could talk crazy about what you would have did when it was harsh slavery. But hey, it's a saying, this dude sung it in a song, maybe it's better to live to fight another day than to just get killed on the spot. So sometimes you got to choose your choices wise. So now, he said, they shall fall by the edge of the sword, meaning many other Israelites died. And the other ones, he said, shall be led away captive. That's slavery. Where?
Into all nations.
Into all nations. Here we go again. Even that includes the slave ships. It's the only way you can get to some nation, you got to get on ships, don't you? And they made that happen, didn't they? They took some people all the way to places, not just America either, on ships. Slave ships, stuffed in there like some rats. Led away captive into all nations. And what's going to happen to your capital of Israel? Go ahead.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So the Gentiles going to do what they want to do. That's why the president just not saying, well, that's the capital for Israel. Why he got to say that anyway? Because it's been disputed over the years. It's been controversy. It's been a fight going on, and it's still a fight. That's why people mad that he said it, because he sided with one side of the dispute, and they didn't like that. But why is it a dispute in 2017? Because the real people, this happened to them. Jesus can't lie. We in captivity to this day. And we're going to be here till he come get us. Let's go to Galatians 3. One verse. Galatians 3 and verse 13. Read that one verse. Galatians 3 and verse 13. Because this all is evident. This curse is real. You can't hide from it. Galatians 3 and one verse. Verse 13. Read it.
Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree.
So Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, the ultimate curse of the law. See, he ain't talking about the specific curse to Israel here. This is a whole nother lesson. Israel got cursed, but he redeemed Israel from that curse too. But we still got to get to it. But the ultimate curse for Israel and every man and woman is death. And that's really what he had to get us out of, because we all die because of sins. So that's why he had to die for us. He had to die. But how did he die? He took upon himself being cursed. But it was written in Deuteronomy, and we're not going to read it, but he quoting what was written here. He said, Christ hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. So now some people read this, but we're going to get to the tree hangings. This is what I come here to read. That's proof positive that a people is cursed. It's proof that Christ was made a curse for us, right? Because he hung on a tree. That's what the cross was. It was a tree. And they put a cross around it to nail him to the tree. So, just to clear up, some people have read this, right? They say, see, I don't want to hear about no curse. You can't tell me Christ didn't redeem us from the curse. Yeah, he did the preliminary work to redeem us, but you still got to obey. But we still got to get to that point where the redemption is effective. So in other words, we ain't there. We still finishing out the sentence. It won't be effective till he come back. Why is that? How do I know that? Because Christ died so to get us out of death, but yet you can be a good person, you can be a servant of God. Guess what's going to happen to you at the end of your life? You're going to die. You're still dying, right? Good people die every day. Believers in Christ die every day. They still die, and they really are dead, and they get buried, and they have to wait for that redemption at the resurrection. So in other words, it haven't materialized yet. Just like Israel is still under this curse that he gave us in Deuteronomy 28 so far. We still under it. The redemption won't materialize till he make his second coming. So I don't want nobody to read this to you and you say, see, we ain't got to worry about no Christ, no curse no more. Christ didn't redeem it. Well, why kids getting shot down in the street if it ain't still no curse on Israel? Why all kind of bad stuff still happening? See, it's still going on. But the fact that we hung on trees is evident. Now look at this other side of this board here, because this is the last, this artifact that we got here. Let me see your lesson. The lesson, yeah. So on the other side, we got it right here. I don't know if you could, this you can't see it that good. But on this side, that was proving the color of Israel, that we was black. Israel was black. All these artifacts dug out of various Egyptian and other tombs, real stuff depicting how the people of the Bible look, how the Egyptians look, and we know Israel looked like them. Like they admitted these were some Semites, some Semitic brothers right here with afros. They admitted it. But on this side, this proved a curse. How you get hung all over the place. And people even treated it like it was some sporting event. Looking at it. If that ain't a curse, I don't know what is. It ain't just that they say, well, you committed a crime, you need to die. Oh, you treated people like animals. And like it was a sporting event, had kids out there looking at it. These two brothers actually got hung in 1930 in Indiana. Marion, Indiana. I forgot where the name is on that, Thomas Shipping, or I forgot the other brother's name. But this happened wholesale, and this just a few pictures of it. It went on wholesale, and they was bad. And people like the TV channel we was on in Philly one time. I put it on TV. Boy, they had a fit. They tried everything not to. I said, I'm gonna sue you. We paid you money. They said, no, you got people hanging on you. I said, it's Black History, and somebody hung them. He act like I hung them. I ain't hang them. Somebody hung the people. And it's real history. It ain't like and they was bad enough to send postcards to people about it. Made postcards out of them. That ain't a curse. I don't know what is, brothers and sisters. So I'm like, they bad enough to make postcards and send them around. I'm bad enough to put it on TV. People need, just like that woman did a good thing when the boy from Chicago went to Mississippi, 14, whistled at a Gentile woman with Emmett Till, and they killed him, beat him up bad, drowned him. His body was bloated and everything. His mama say, they bad enough to do it. I'm bad enough to have an open casket. That went viral, and it wasn't even no internet. So, hey, it need to be pointed out. But this is proof that what the Lord has said was going to happen to Israel as far as being cursed, this is proof positive it happened. Now, let's go to Zechariah, what is the 8th chapter?
It don't say.
Oh, it's the 8th chapter. I can't even find my lesson. I got so many sheets. I got to have it. It's part 2. Okay. Zechariah, yep. No, it say 13th chapter. Yeah, it should be 30. It should be
Colon down
Oh, yeah, it's a colon. Let me see what it is. It's probably 8. Sound like 8. Let me look at it.
Yeah, that's it.
Zechariah 8? Mm-hmm. Okay. Zechariah 8, and we're going to start at verse 13. Zechariah 8 and verse 13. So this is proof positive. Israelites are black people cursed. But the good news is, but still chosen by God. With all this, God said he ain't forgetting us as a people. And he going to bring us back before it's all said and done. Zechariah 8, pick it up at verse 13. And we're going to see what he's saying. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that as ye were cursed among the heathen, O house of Judah.
And that's clear that's what it's been, right? We've been cursed, been hung on all the trees. And to this day, even though you're not readily getting hung on trees, some people act like they still want to. And it don't mean it can't happen. But it just ain't happening wholesale like it was. But still, terrible stuff happening. You got to try to march because the police just shooting you down. Needlessly shooting you down. Don't even, like the dude they finally had to lock one of them up because he was so blatant. Boy, if it ain't for video cameras, boy, won't nobody never be in trouble. And then you could be on video. They still let people go, but he was just too blatant. Shot the brother in the back running in, where's that, South Carolina? Shot him in the back. He running, and he going to shoot him in the back, then go try to plant the taser like, oh, he stole my taser. Got it all on camera. And they say, look, you really messed up. We can't let you go. You was so bogus. Stupid. He gonna try to walk over there by the body and throw the taser down. Like, dude, you all on camera. But that just show you the mentality. But see, he about the only one ever that been convicted for shooting an unarmed brother. I mean, not only brother unarmed, he running away. And the dude was big, he ain't gonna get away. He ain't gonna get away. He having target. Everything being filmed. But that just show you the curse is still alive and kicking. It's still alive and kicking, but the Lord gonna put an end to it. See, that's the good thing about God. God is fair. He even the score eventually for everybody. Just like he let Pharaoh do that stuff to Israel back in the day, then he came and evened the score big time. See, the score going to get even. That's why I ain't even mad at nobody because they going to pay theirs. Right. It'll make you mad, but I know how to temper it because I know God going to get them. God told me, vengeance is mine. I said, okay, God, you can handle it because I can't even get them. Nat Turner tried to get some people. He got a couple, then they got him, right? Hey, I'll just wait on the Lord. So he said, and it shall come to pass. Now he going to fix it, that as ye were a curse among the heathen mean nations, and we seen that's exactly what it's been, right? Just like you were a curse among the heathen, O house of Judah. What now?
And O house of Israel.
And O house of Israel. So what?
So will I save you. And ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong.
He said, just like you've been cursed. See, so like I said, brother, says you don't know nothing about a blessing unless you can understand a curse. There's no blessing without there being a such thing as a curse. And this is what he's showing you. Just like you were a curse among these nations, and this happened. We at the end of it now. You're going to be a blessing. Don't fear. Let your hands be so it don't matter how bad it look now. Time's going to get harder before it get better. But when it get better, it's going to get real good. 14.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath.
That's what he's been doing.
Lord of hosts.
We've been under punishment. As I thought to punish you when your forefathers, he's talking about our forefathers, when your fathers provoked me to wrath, so what?
Said the Lord of hosts, and I repented not.
God said he didn't repent, and he ain't repented yet. He been beating us in the head. Go ahead.
So again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Fear ye not.
So he going to reverse it now. How is he going to do it? Is he going to leave us in slavery? Let's see. Back up now to verse 7 and read that.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, And I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God.
See, he said he's going to save his people from everywhere they at, from the east country, from the west country. And I will bring them. He's bringing us home from slavery. But in order to do that, he got to deal with all nations, because that's where we scattered. They ain't just going to let this happen. Ain't nobody going to come and just talk to them and say, well, let all them people go. Matter of fact, that land y'all disputing on, we need everybody to leave Jerusalem and Israel. All y'all need to leave, and we need to let the original occupants go back to that land. They going to laugh at if somebody just come tell them that, right? So the Lord going to have to make war on them people, but the Lord going to do this. The Lord is going to do it. He said he's going to bring his people back, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and what?
And they shall be my people, and I will be their God in truth and in righteousness.
That's right. Go to Matthew 24. Let's see who is doing that. Who is gathering people from the east and from the west. That's none other than Jesus. But of course it's Jesus. Because you think he said for nothing that he was only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And now he told us we was going to end up in slavery all over the world in all nations. You think he intended to leave us in slavery all over? Absolutely not. Not with making a statement like that. This is why he got a second coming, brothers and sisters. It's not to rapture nobody to heaven. It's to save these Israelites scattered in slavery worldwide. So you got to get with the program. We at Matthew 24 and 29. Read it.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light.
Great tribulation is on its way, and at the end of it, the Lord going to peel the sky back, the sun going to get dark, the moon not going to be shining. This going to signal we at the end of the world for sure. Go ahead.
And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
He going to shake up everything, and then what?
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
He coming. It's not a rapture, brothers and sisters. It's a takeover. He taking over this world. Go ahead.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
See, you don't come with power and great glory just to steal a few people and take them to heaven. You come with power and great glory when you plan on taking over the world. And what he going to do in the world? 31.
And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet.
So he sent his angels out there. Trumpet going to blow. This when everything is climaxing. At that seventh trumpet. Great sound of a trumpet. Go ahead.
And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Now wait a minute. You mean Jesus is talking and we don't believe him? Why don't anybody tell you this is Jesus' mission at his second coming? To do what? To gather together his elect. That's crystal clear. He gathered his people. What people? Who? The people that's been scattered, right? That's elementary. Under this curse. See, some people might play with words, say, well, that just say elect, that could mean anybody. No, it mean Israel. It mean the chosen ones. If you've been elected, you've been chosen. That mean Israel. Now, he going to deal with people from other nations. Some of them can even be with Israel because that's what they got to do. They got to follow Israel and be with Israel like the other people left Egypt with Israel. Other nationalities left, it say a mixed multitude. They like, look, can we go with y'all? Yep, come on. You got to obey us like we obey. You got to obey God like we obey God. You got to do the same thing we do, and then you Israel really when you do that. But he brought Israel out of Egypt specifically. He bringing Israel out of slavery. He coming specifically for us. So it said at 31, he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they going to gather together his elect from where?
From the four winds. From one end of heaven to the other.
From the four winds. See, that's all over the world, east, west, north, and south. The four winds. We just read in Zechariah, he said from the east and the west. Let's go back to Isaiah 11. Let's make sure we know that this is specifically Israel from the four winds. But Jesus was talking. Don't nobody believe Jesus. They act like they do. They really don't believe him. Because they done made all kind of, they done turned Jesus into a big liar with all the stuff they attributing to him. Coming back to rapture us to heaven. He ain't going to hurt nobody. Isaiah 11:11. Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
That's the second time. The first time was in Egypt. The second time was all these places, including where we went on slave ships too. To recover the remnant of his people, which shall be where?
Which shall be left from Assyria,
Uh-huh.
and from Egypt,
Uh-huh.
and from Pathros,
Uh-huh.
and from Cush,
That's a lot of nations already. Go ahead.
and from Elam,
Uh-huh.
and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
See, and that's way out to America, various islands of the sea. All the way, because you went on slave ships, but he got to bring you back from all over. But this is what Jesus just said. He's going to send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. They're going to gather together his elect from the four winds. Let's see. Go ahead. Verse 12. 11, I'm sorry. No, 12. Go ahead.
And he shall set up an incense for the nation, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
See, that's the elect. And they coming from the four winds, or Isaiah said it a little more clear, the four corners of the earth. Gather together. Why? Because you went into slavery when you got cursed. But he ain't going to leave you there. Thank God for that. That wouldn't even seem fair for people to be in slavery all forever and never find out who they are. You might as well get a whiskey bottle and start drinking if it ain't no hope in that. You mean we ain't going to never figure out where we from? Everybody got a homeland but us. That's unfair in itself, but God is not like that. He going to gather us back. He got the plan. He got the fix in already. He told you before it even happened, so you know it's true. He going to gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. That's the four winds, Jesus said. Jesus wasn't doing nothing but quoting this, really. Go ahead, verse 13.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart.
See, we ain't going to be envying and fighting one another. That's how we got kicked out. We started fighting each other. And we doing that to this day. The envy of Ephraim shall depart. Go ahead.
And the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah. And Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
Because we are split into two fractions, and that's what that was going on. Go ahead.
But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. And they shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them.
Because Israel going to run it now. Go ahead.
And they shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea.
And the Lord shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Egyptian sea. Go ahead.
And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river,
and
shall smite in the seven streams, and make men go over dry shod.
Just like when he went through the Red Sea, doing the same stuff at the end. Go ahead.
And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
See, it's just like that. It's a deliverance from slavery. See, so this curse is going to be reversed. It's going to be reversed. That's the good news. We almost done. Go to Deuteronomy 30. Deuteronomy 30. Because where he pronounced the curse in Deuteronomy before it happened, he also announced the reverse of the curse in Deuteronomy before it even happened. He told the whole story. But it's about land. See, Satan got everybody confused. The only thing people talking about, oh, we ain't worried about none of that. We waiting on going to heaven. No, it's never been about going to heaven. It's about a promised land. That's what God's promises revolve around. And the people who received the promised land got kicked out, so that has to be changed and rectified for God to fulfill his promise. Deuteronomy 30:1, read it.
And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse.
See, we were blessed for a little bit when we had the promised land under King. We had some great kings, had some judges, King David, King Solomon, great kings. That was a blessed period. But once we got kicked out, we entered the period of the curse. Even Jesus pronounced it on us. So, but what he's getting to is at the end of all of it. He said, it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse. You can't just say blessing. the Lord include a curse with it if you disobey it, and that's what happened. But once it all took place, which what?
Which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee.
So we scattered out, still at the end under the curse, but we're going to start to wake up. God had this thing foretold way in advance. That's why we waking up now. Because what we doing keeping the Sabbath day, trying to obey God's laws, that ain't been in our DNA. People ain't been doing that. My mother and father didn't have a clue, didn't know nothing about it. As far as they didn't tell me anyway. They didn't know nothing about that. But we doing exactly what the Lord called in the scripture. We turning back to obey him because we recognize that we've been under this curse for disobedience. So we calling it to mind, where among the nations, whither the Lord thy God hath driven thee. And what's our job? What are we to do? Go ahead.
And shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day. Thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul. That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity.
Oh, you're going to be in captivity like we still are until the end of time. See, we got to be here. This is how you know the real Israel not in the promised land. The real Israel got to be, the Jews got to be in captivity until Jesus return and gather. Until the end. But in captivity, we starting to turn back to the Lord, realize who we are and what our job is. So he said, if you start to obey his voice, that's what got you in trouble. You ain't got to worry about marching and sitting in and riding. Look, obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, you and your children with all your heart and all your soul. Verse 3 said that then, when you do that, the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity, your slavery, and do what?
And have compassion upon thee.
And
will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
That's simple, isn't it? You've been scattered out, he going to bring you home. You was cursed, now he going to bless you all over again. And this going to last forever. Go ahead.
If any of thine be driven out unto the utmost parts of heaven.
Don't matter how far you out, it don't care. The Lord know where you at. Go ahead.
From thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee.
Well, the Lord got everybody numbered, don't he? Go ahead.
And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed.
Oh, you ain't going to heaven either. You going to some land. The promised land that our ancestors got kicked out of. And we don't even know nothing about it now. The Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed. Go ahead.
And thou shalt possess
now
it.
It's your turn to have it, and you're going to have it forever. Go ahead.
And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers.
That's real good news. Go to Revelation 2. Because the automatic question should be, well, if Israel is scattered in slavery, I should be able to find out or know something about the people that act like they in the land and say they Jews. Who are those people? Well, the Lord tell you about it. Because this is what people tell you. Oh, why you worried about all that stuff? Jesus love everybody. He just come to save. He don't care about no captivity. I had people tell me this. I was reading some scripture about Israel showing who the real Jews. One sister just cut me off. No, I don't have time to be trying to figure out who the Jews are. I'm just trying to get salvation. I said, hold on, sister, read this then. So if Jesus is telling you he's concerned about, we'll just say, quote unquote, some fake Jews, then you should be concerned about it. Revelation 2 and verse 9. Read it.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
Now he's talking to his chosen people who in one predicament, what is their predicament? They get tribulation and they got poverty. They scuffling. He said, I know about what you're going through. Don't worry about it. I know your works. I know your tribulation. And I know your poverty. See, so this fit the bill of the chosen people who scattered in slavery. But now he don't just know them. He knows somebody else who pretending to be them. Go ahead.
But thou art rich.
But really you rich. Now how can you be in poverty and rich at the same time? Because again, we the chosen people and can't nobody take that away from us. And God gonna use us. If it kill us, he gonna use us. He gonna use us before it's all said and done. He said, I know your works, your tribulation, your poverty, but thou art rich. Spiritually, we rich. That's why we got more church than everybody. We trying to tap in, but we won't do it right. Go ahead. What else?
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan.
So don't get mad when we say, look, we the real Israel because we fit the signs of the curse, and the people over there are not Jews because we the real Jews. Jew just became short term for Israel because all the other tribes was in captivity. They called everybody Jew that was left. So that's where the terminology comes from. The full name of the nation is really Israel. But since they using Jew, we'll use it too. Jesus is using it. And he's saying exactly what they saying. Notice they really don't say, the people in the land, they really don't even talk about Israelite. They don't even talk about Israelite. Because they really just saying Jew because they made Jew a religion. They really, that's all they saying is Jew. But they still using to say, well, you know, this is our land and, you know, we the original people. But no, he said, no, I know the real people. I know they works, they tribulation, they poverty. But you rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Now, some people say, oh, well, you talking about people? Nope, Jesus talking about you. So if you mad at anybody, get mad at Jesus, get mad at John who wrote Revelation. We just reading it, right? And we ain't done. Flip over to the 3rd chapter. Revelation 3 and 9. But you don't have that. So that means it's some discrepancy who the real Jews are according to Jesus. And he said, I know about the discrepancy. Because it's clear, brothers and sisters, the real ones got cursed and went into slavery all over the world. So it was real easy for somebody to take the land and say, it's ours. But notice they got disputes because other people said, no, it's ours. And they fighting over it. They split it up, said, well, you take this and you take this. But you know, man get greedy. They want all of it, right? So they can't even keep no deal. Because obviously the Arabs, who they call Palestinians, they had a portion too, right? That's how they there. That's how they got the dome there. How they get the dome there in these people's land if it's really their land? No, because they made a deal. Now none of them don't want to keep the deal. They want to fight and fight and fight. So it's a discrepancy. But the Lord know about the discrepancy. 3 and 9. Go ahead, read it.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
What he going to do?
Behold, I will make them to come worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
See, you got two sets of people, don't you? God talking to his people, but he said, I'm going to make them that say they Jews and lying, that do lie, but they not. I'm going to make them come bow down before your feet and know I've loved you. That's the real one. See, this is what's going to happen when the Lord come back. He going to do this. Go to Revelation 4. So now that John 4, I'm sorry. Now that we know that, then we can read this verse with some understanding. But this is what I read to the sister who said, I don't need to know about no Jews. Look, obviously you need to know about it. Jesus telling you somebody faking the funk. So you need to know about it. And not only that, it's so important. He said this in John 4. Because the woman said, well, I don't need to know about that. I'm just trying to get salvation. You trying to tell me about some Jews this and Jew that. That ain't even important. I said, you haven't read the Bible much, but read this. John 4 and 19. Go ahead.
The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet.
Now here's a woman of Samaria. She wasn't an Israelite, but Jesus took some time out to talk to her because he was at the well and met her and trying to get some water. He asked her to give him some drink, and she got a little jazzed. What you doing asking me for drink? Y'all don't even talk to us because they knew they wasn't Jews. They knew they wasn't real Israelites. See, that show you how you could be somewhere and think you somebody you not. She thought she really had a part in this, and Jesus had to enlighten her. So, but he was talking to her, and then he told her some stuff about her life. So she gonna give him some props then. She says, Sir, I perceive that you a prophet, but a lot of times somebody give you a compliment, but then they trying to equate what you saying to what they believe already. And that's messed up. So a servant of God always end up correcting that. He said, yeah, I have people tell me that all the time. Like I'm telling them, like, look, the kingdom going to be on the earth. God going to set a kingdom up, a heavenly kingdom on this earth. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Because like after we go to heaven and then we're going to come back down. No, stop. Don't say that no more. That's not it. I'm not saying that. So she was on that same note. She going to give Jesus a compliment, then try to act like I know what I'm talking about too, because I know like you know. She says, sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Verse 20.
Our fathers worship in this mountain.
That was her first mistake, talking about our fathers like she got some real good understanding. Our fathers worship in this mountain. Go ahead.
And ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus said unto her, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father.
See, he said, look, woman, you don't understand what you're talking about. You ain't going to be doing nothing around here. The hour coming, you ain't going to worship the Father in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem. But let me tell you one thing. Verse 22. Go ahead.
Ye worship, ye know not what.
Furthermore, you trying to tell me about you know about some worship? See, Jesus didn't care about hurting nobody's feelings. He called the one woman a dog, right? He told her, look, it's not good. I ain't supposed to do that. I'm on a mission here. But that woman was smart. She humbled us. This woman was smart too. She went along with it. She didn't kick because she knew he was somebody. She just had to get what she thought out her mind. So, but he turned around and crushed her little statement. He said, look, ye worship, ye know not what. You don't know what you trying to tell me about your fathers worship what? You don't know what you worshiping. You'd be good to be quiet and let me explain a few things to you. That's what I want to tell some people sometimes. They just be talking. Shh. This is really what Jesus is saying. Look, he said, ye worship, ye know not what. But on the other hand, who know?
We know what we worship. For salvation is of the Jews.
Wait a minute. Stop the presses. Salvation is of the Jews? No wonder he going through all this stuff to make sure you understand that you got a discrepancy about who the real Jews are. Because it's important who the Jews are because salvation is of them. So if you listening to the wrong ones who saying they Jews and are not, you going the wrong way to hell. You're going the wrong way. So it's important to the Lord, so he explaining it every step of the way. And he says salvation is of the Jews. So don't let nobody tell you it don't matter who the Jews or Israelites are. It do matter. Salvation is of them. Paul said the same thing. You know what Paul said in Romans 3? He talking to the Gentiles, to the Romans, like Jesus talking to the Samaritan woman. That's why she didn't know. She wasn't Israel. Paul told the Romans, he said, what advantage, Romans 3, read on your own, what advantage then hath the Jew? Is it an advantage? Or what profit is there of circumcision? What was it? Much every way. Because they got the word of God. So if it's an advantage, people want to act like it don't matter who you are. You better read the Bible again. It matters who Israel is because they are the chosen people. They rich with the word. We might be poor in life, but we rich with the word. And if it's an advantage to being a Jew, that means if you're not a Jew, you inherently at what? A disadvantage. Because you don't automatically have it. But you can get it. You got to go to the ones that got it. That's the order of things. But now we're going to wrap it up. Go to Romans 9. So we need to know who the real Israelites are that's been scattered in slavery. Or if you use Jew or Hebrew, whatever, we need to know who they are. Because salvation is of them. Paul going to tell you a little something here. Romans 9:1. But we've been cursed. We've been messed up. So it seems like we don't matter no more. 9:1. Go ahead.
I say the truth in Christ. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
For what?
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh.
See, Paul, even though he was preaching to Gentiles, he was always reiterating the importance of Israel. We read Romans 11 last night. He said, God hasn't cast away his original people. Don't think that, because they were saying that. The Romans were saying. That's how you got the Pope in Rome now. They acting like, well, God, he deal with us now. He turned it over to us. Read it to me in the Bible, and I'll be listening to the Pope. But he can't read that to me in the Bible. He can't read where God switched horses and decided to go with somebody else. Go with the Gentiles. You can't read that. No, he don't change. Paul said he ain't cast away his people which he foreknew. And then he turned around and said, because I'm an Israelite of the seed of Abraham of the tribe of Benjamin. Now he's talking to him about being sorry for his people for the predicament that we in, because we are under curse and been stiff-necked. Go ahead. So he said, I could wish myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh. Why? Because he know we've been cursed. So Paul said, I could wish myself, if it'll make it better, I could wish myself to be accursed for my own people, because we are a cursed people. And he going to tell you who he talking about. Verse 4, who are they?
Who are Israelites?
Oh, who are Israelites? Again, nowadays you tell people I'm an Israelite, it's like you cursing at them. Israelite. And they use that real, that's them Israelites. I know you got some brothers out here on the corner screaming and hollering at people. Look, all Israelites not like that. And Israelite is just a nationality anyway. But it's the nationality that was chosen by God. So just like all people of any group are not the same, it's the same thing about Israelites. All people are not the same. All Israelites not the same. We not out on the corner cursing and screaming at people, cursing them out, because that don't do no good. That's not from the Lord. That ain't what the Lord had you do. But we are Israelite just like Paul is. So it's still important. He said, who are Israelites, and what about the Israelites? Go ahead.
To whom pertaineth the adoption.
Everything pertained to them. The adoption, what else?
And the glory.
And the glory.
And the covenant.
And even the covenants. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law. And the service of God and the promise.
See, Israel got everything. That's why the other nationalities, the Greeks, the Ethiopians, the Egyptians, everybody got to come to Israel to get the word, because salvation is of the Jews. God give it to his people. That's why Jesus said, I'm only sent to the lost sheep. That's why he wasn't even going to deal with that woman till she humbled herself so much. He said, look, I'm going to do this right quick. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out of order for you because you got a lot of faith. But ordinarily, he wasn't doing that because he give it to his chosen, and other people get it from them. That's what Paul was doing, talking to the Romans. He was giving it to them, but he was letting them know where they got it from. He said, the Israelites to whom pertains the adoption, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the service of God, and the promise. What else?
Whose are the fathers?
And their ancestors are the fathers who God dealt with, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Go ahead.
And of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came. Who is over all, God bless forever. Amen.
Amen. So everything pertains to Israel. That's why salvation is of them. They got it all. Other nationalities got to come to them to receive it, because that's who God give it to. They got the service of God. He said the adoption, the glory, the covenants. That's where people make a mistake. They try to use the new covenant to usurp everything in the Old Testament. Oh, we under the new covenant. We don't need no Israel. We don't need no none. This is with the Gentiles. No, you lying. All the covenants is with Israel. Old, new, whatever one you want to come up with, is with Israel. That's significant. It's with Israel. So he said, and then he said, whose are the fathers? And then if you want to bring Christ in, he said, and concerning the flesh, Christ came. So when he came, of course, he was what? An Israelite of the tribe of Judah, who is over all, God blessed forever. Now, go to Hebrews 8, and let's look at this new covenant, because people act like they just can't read scripture, and they just want to talk their belief through. Because people have told me many times, well, no, see, we under the new covenant now. We don't need the law. We don't need to worry about Israel. God made that with the Christian church. See, and the Christian church going to be in heaven while y'all down here on the earth. I'm like, You are so confused. It's not that way. The Christian church was only started with Israelites because that's all Jesus was fishing for, Israelites. Even that woman didn't stay with Jesus. He just healed, told her daughter was healed. She went on about her business. But he was attracting only Israelites in the church for a long time until finally he sent Paul to Gentiles. Hebrews 8, and we almost done, verse 7. Hebrews 8 and verse 7. Go ahead and read it.
For if the first covenant had been faultless.
Now that's the old covenant. He said if it had been faultless, because it had a fault, and we're going to see it wasn't the covenant itself, it was with the people, because we broke it. But if the first covenant had been faultless, then what?
Then should no place have been sought for the second.
Uh-huh.
For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
So who is the new covenant going to be with? Or who is it with? The house of Israel and with the house of Judah. This is the New Testament telling you that. So don't make it like it's general for any and everybody. No, it's for the same people the old covenant was with. God is so much a stickler. We broke the old covenant. He said, that's all right. I'm going to make a new one. Y'all can't get away from me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a new covenant because we're going to finish this thing because he don't change, brothers and sisters. So it's with the same people because he got to fulfill that promise he made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob with their descendants. He got to do it. That's why he got to save us. Other than that, if God don't save us, he going to destroy the whole world. But he ain't going to go back on his promise because he can't lie. But if it wasn't for that promise, hey, God probably scrapped this whole thing. That's why Jesus had to die. Jesus started thinking about maybe we do it another way. He said, Father, if possible, let this cup pass. But it's like, nope, he got to die. Because that's how you redeem in Israel first and anybody else who choose to believe. So now he said, finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come when said the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Verse 9.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt.
That was the first slavery we came out of. But it's going to be different. The covenant going to be different. The new going to be different. Let's see how. Go ahead.
Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord.
See, we didn't continue. We broke it. So that's who the fault lied with. Verse 10.
For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord.
I'm going to do away with all my laws, and all they got to do is call on my name. Let's see if he say that. Go ahead.
I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their heart. And I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
Oh, we still going to keep the laws. This time they're going to be in your mind instead of on stone. So you're going to have to keep them. Go ahead.
And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord. For all shall know me from the least to the greatest.
So now, we operating under the new covenant. We just ahead of our time because when it's fully enforced, but when you get baptized in Jesus' name, you're getting baptized into the new covenant. But we just ahead of our time because when he bring Israel back, that's when it's going to be fully enforced. And everybody going to know him once he come back and straighten this mess out. That's what he's talking about right there. But go ahead, verse 12.
For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness. And their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more.
See, and that's the key. That's why he had to die, to get us from our sins. Remember, that's why we got cursed. He said, your first forefathers sinned against me, and your teachers have transgressed against me, so I have given you to the curse. So this is why Jesus had to die, to start the process off, shed his blood. And that's what the covenant is based on, the shedding of his blood this time, not animal blood. Go ahead.
And that he saith, a new covenant, he hath made the first old. Not that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away.
So they can't fool you and make you think the new covenant does away with Israel. Nope, the new covenant, according to the New Testament, is still with the same people. Because like we started last night, God don't change, brothers and sisters. He said, I am the Lord and I change not. That's why Israel is still here. That's why we ain't, with all we've been through, we still alive and kicking. One more place, Jeremiah 31. Jeremiah 31. And this is what the brother in Hebrews was quoting about the new covenant. He wasn't just making that up as he went. He was quoting this. But we're going to get a little more than he quoted and wrap it up here. Because God going to show you how it don't matter what has happened to us, how cursed we've been, we're going to be God's chosen to the end. Jeremiah 31:31, read it.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Oh, same thing he just told us in Hebrews, because he was quoting this. Go ahead.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord.
Go ahead.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law into their inward parts and write them in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
So in Romans 9, Paul knew exactly what he was talking about when he told us that to Israel pertaineth everything. The service of God, the glory, the adoption, and the covenants of God. Everything belongs to Israel. That's why salvation is of the Jews. That's why he's concerned about those that say they Jews, but they really not. This is of utmost importance. He said, this is going to be the covenant I'm going to make with the house of Israel. I'm going to put my law in their inward parts and write in their hearts, and they should be and will be their God. They should be to me a people. 34, go ahead.
And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor.
See, this once he bring us back and bring the whole nation of Israel back. Until he bring us back, as long as we're in slavery, we ain't at this part. See, we still at the beginning of waking up now. Go ahead.
And every man his brother saying, know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity and will remember their sin no more.
See, that's how he bringing us back. He forgiving our sin. But now he going to tell you how it is impossible to get away from Israel. You're going to have to do some dramatic stuff if you want to think that I have done away with Israel. And this should make people pause in traditional circles who trying to do away with Israel, say Israel don't matter. Verse 35, read it.
Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof war. The Lord of hosts is his name.
So this is the Lord that created everything. The Lord that hung the sun and the moon. Sun for the day and the moon and the stars by night. The Lord that, he said, divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. Well, what does he got to say? And it's about what we talking about in this lesson. It's about his people, which is a black people that's cursed, but still his chosen. He want to make sure you understand we're going to always be his chosen. What?
If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
See, now he lets you know how sure Israel is going to be his people forever. How sure, he said, just the Lord that gave the orders of the sun by day and the moon by night. If the sun do his thing every day, don't it? We've been living for however long we've been living, it ain't missed a day yet, have it? And it was going on before we was here. It go all the way back every day to get light, right? Every night it get dark and the moon and the stars, it's daytime to shine, right? That's the order. I mean, repeated. This been going on for thousands of years. We see one little description in the Bible where the Lord let Joshua hold it up. But ordinarily, this do what it do, and it can't be broken, right? So the Lord is using that as example. He said, just like I gave that. He said, now if it changed, you know, if all of a sudden the sun be out at nighttime and the moon is out during the day, well, you can see the moon in the day sometime, but that's not ordinarily. But if it changed, if all that get flipped over upside down, then that's the only way the seed of Israel would stop from being a nation before me forever. In other words, the sun got to stop working its work, and the moon got to stop doing what it's doing, and the stars and the waves and all that stuff, the way it do, it got to change. That's the only way I'm getting rid of Israel. In other words, I'm not getting rid of Israel. I don't care. That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord. If the heaven can be measured, and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath.
Now, if you didn't understand the first analogy, he got a second one for you. Thus said, this is coming from God. If heaven above can be measured, if you can get you a ruler, man is real smart. Got all kind of technology. God is telling them, put a ruler on the sky and give me some measurements. Count it up for me. What do it come to? They can't do that, can they? If heaven above can be measured, or that's okay, don't even worry about going in the sky. You might not have no ladder high enough to measure that. Look, just measure the foundation of the earth. Now, you know, man, they got satellites everywhere. They can tell you where you at, tell you where the accident is above. They got a lot of technology. Use some of that technology to measure the earth, period. He said, if the foundation of the earth can be searched out beneath, put a measurement on it and tell me, bring me a number back and tell me what it come to. If you can do that, that's the only way he going to do what? Go ahead.
I will cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said the Lord.
See, he said, then I cast off Israel. In other words, I'm not going to never get rid of Israel until you can put a measurement, give me a measurement of the sky, or until you can measure the dust of the earth and tell me, give me a number back. That's the only way I'm going to do it. That's what he means. Thus said the Lord, if heaven above can be measured and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said the Lord. In other words, it ain't going to never happen. I hope you got some understanding in Jesus' name. And we'll have regular announcements.
Our prayers that the eyes of your understanding were enlightened by today's lesson. DVDs and CDs of all our lessons are available. Please place your order in the offering box along with your donation and pick up your DVDs/CDs up at the podium next Sabbath. Please tune in to the Kingdom Come television program, which airs in various locations. Please join us at our other study classes, Question and Answer Bible Study, every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central via conference call line at 860-970-0010, ID number 343-531-334. Also stream live from via our website, kingdomcome7.com. Children's Bible classes ages 4 through 12 every Sabbath at 12 noon. Teen Forum Bible classes ages 13 through 19 every other Saturday at 5 p.m. If you feel you are ready to be baptized, please sign the baptismal list at the podium and or speak with Brother Oscar. Following is the dress code for our services. All clothing should be modest in appearance. Nothing tight-fitting, overly baggy, sagging, or revealing should be worn. Men are to remove hats and all head covering, no shorts. Women should wear head coverings such as a hat or scarf according to 1 Corinthians 11, verses 1 through 7. If your child becomes noisy during the lesson, distracting other members, please remove him or her to the TV monitor area in the rear of the class. Any tithes and or free will offerings should be put in the offering envelope and placed in the offering box near the podium. Pray for our strength as we pray for you. Until next Sabbath, peace.
Peace. Okay, right quick, got an announcement for the kids ages 4 through 12, calling all children of Israel for Out of the Mouth of Babes. So that's the name of it. First day of unleavened bread, Feast of Unleavened Bread. So they're going to do a performance, and ages 4 through 12, some of the older kids, maybe 13, 14, they can probably try to help out if Sister Victoria needs some help. So, but that's ages 4 through 12, Out of the Mouth of Babes, first day of Feast of Unleavened Bread performance. So rehearsal going to start today from 5 to 6:15, and every Sabbath after that. See Sister Victoria for details. So, Sister Victoria, you want to raise your hand, stand up? That's Sister Victoria over there. So that's today at 5 o'clock. Any questions you had, you can talk to her about it. You know, they used to do a little dance, so they're going to come up with she's going to have some type of performance for the feast. I don't know. And with that, I'm going to mention that we want to keep people in prayer. I mentioned Sean down in Indy, my nephew. He had the stroke. He's doing better, but keep him in prayer as well. Also, I mentioned last night, young 4-year-old nephew of some of the people down in Mississippi who we went and baptized. He was in a bad car accident named Corvin. Keep him in prayer. He's not doing good at all, but the Lord is able, so keep praying for him as well. And last but not least, we got a new location in LA. Hopefully they doing something now. But it's 7919 South Broadway in LA. Not far from where we was at, but it's going to be a better location for us, Lord willing. And we had to move, so the Lord made it happen for us because we was running out of time. Man gave us 30 days notice, so y'all got to get out of here. So we've been looking for 2 years, but then we found something in 3 weeks after that happened, and some much better too. So 7919 Broadway in LA. And with that said, if nothing else, we're going to face the rules and close out.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thine will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
And give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
For he is good.
He is good.
And his mercy endureth forever.
And his mercy endureth forever.
Praise the Lord, God of Israel.
Praise the Lord, God of Israel.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endureth forever.
And his mercy endureth forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
The one true God.
The one true God.
And there is none other.
And there is none other.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. 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 In Jesus' name. Amen. Praise the Lord.